Hey, it's Brittany Beach. Today, I am going to tell you the story of my life. But more specifically, I'm going to expose the first 5 out of 13 bitches who screwed me over and made me feel despair, depressed, and worthless. So, sit back, relax, get a snack or two, or better yet, pause this video right now and go over and get yourself some food because, girl, this is going to be a long episode. There is a lot of tea, and why the hell is my mom up in here? Excuse me, Mom, I'm right in the middle of a video. Do you mind? I really don't give a damn. Can you just get the hell out of my room, please? What am I doing? Miss Girl, it's the 13 Reasons Why video. Yeah, that's right. Get the hell out of my room, bitch. I'm busy. Anyway, as I was saying... Oh, and there's my kitty Silver. Oh my god, what the hell does she want now? Okay, Mom, you need to get the hell out. Much better. The identities of the people involved in these stories have been changed to protect their identity and myself in case they somehow find this video and come after me. I just want everyone watching to know that I'm going to start by reading the actual tapes themselves, and I'm going to tell you the full story as of what happened. And then before I begin reading the tapes, I just want to put out a disclaimer. The first episode of Britney's 13 Reasons Why contains mature subject matter that isn't suitable for children, such as language, drug use, body issues, and death. And no, I did not kill anyone if that's what you're thinking right now. So, trigger warning for anyone who has dealt or experienced any of those things, and, if it bothers you, there's your disclaimer. So without further ado, let's get on into the tea for the first episode of my 13 Reasons Why. The first tape is about a girl named Annabelle. You've only ever cared about yourself, and your drugs, and your alcohol. Well, you've made my life a living hell from the moment I first met you in 6th grade to now. It's been 5 years of hell from you. One of the worst things that you ever did to me personally was when you body shamed me behind my back. You and I were siblings at that time, and you said that about your own sibling. Like, I would never have said anything like that about you. I mean, look at you, sis. You're as skinny as a twig. So, you got room to talk, Missy. Girl, you look like a damn stick you could easily break in half. And sure, we've all been body shamed once or twice in our life. Doesn't matter how you look. There's always something someone's gonna say about you. But I never had any problems with my body image, nor was I ever insecure until you said that about me. And I don't know why I let it get to me so bad. I think it was because you and I were siblings at the time, but that was one of the worst things you ever did to me personally. And I had to deal with low self-esteem for many years and to this day, all because of that one comment from you. So congratulations, Annabelle. You've left a permanent mark that I will have to deal with for the rest of my life. Not to mention how you are insanely good at manipulating Mom. You know damn well how nice she is and how you can get away with anything when you're with her. My mom was too nice to realize that somebody could actually be evil, because my mom gives everybody the benefit of the doubt. But it's the evil ones who take advantage of people like that. But I noticed things that my mother didn't notice from day one, because I picked up on your manipulative behavior. What I saw was a manipulative child with no future. After you went to treatment for your drug addiction, you came back and raised hell in our home once again and continued to think you were fooling everyone, but sadly you were not, because soon we all caught on to your vindictive, manipulative behaviors. Thank God my family came to their senses about your mental illnesses and your unforgivable lies and deceit. You are at the epitome of hell, and that is all you will ever amount to be. So now let me begin to tell you guys the full story about this girl and what happened. So I met Annabelle when we were in 6th grade together, and I was nothing but nice to her. And I remember at one point I kind of developed feelings for her, but I was so young. I mean, that could have honestly been anything. But all I know was that I liked her a lot. And maybe it was just as a friend and I was confused. I don't know. But anyways, after I told her about it, then she got like angry at me and started to bully me because I liked her or whatever. And even when I, quote unquote, stopped liking her, she still continued to bully me. And it went on for 2 years. Even after I, didn't like her anymore, she still continued to do it. And I just did not understand why. I never understood why Annabelle was so mean to me. Hey guys, I'm currently editing the video, and I actually did forget to mention one small detail about Annabelle. So during like 7th grade, before I like never saw her again for a year, she like actually got me in trouble one day over something so stupid. So let me tell you what happened real quick. She knew how to get into my head because when I was younger, I suffered from a lot of, we're just gonna say anger issues. I was just very emotional and I would get upset very easily. And I had to go to therapy for that. And Annabelle knew how to get into my head. She knew how to make me upset. So one day we're at school and she approached my table I was sitting at. She just like gave me 2 things of butter saying, here's your butter for that pizza. And that was her trying to call me fat, basically, because she's giving me butter. And butter's a carb. Quote from Mean Girls.
Is butter a carb? Yes.
So she was basically, calling me fat without actually saying it. And I kind of caught on to it, I'm pretty sure, because I remember I got really upset from that. But anyway, I ended up posting something on my Facebook at that time about it, how I was like really upset and I'm so sick of people like bullying me all the time. And she made up a lie that I had apparently threatened to kill her mom or something. Like, what? When did I ever say that? So I don't even know if she saw my Facebook post, but I never even mentioned anything about her. What the hell? I don't know where she came up with that. But anyway, so the school bought it, and yeah, I got suspended for literally no reason. All because some quote unquote innocent little girl went and cried and said, oh my god, you guys, he literally threatened to kill my mom. Oh my god, you have to do something. She literally went and made up a lie and got me suspended. So anyway, sorry about that. That was an important detail I forgot to mention. Anyway, so back to the tea. So around the time I was 14 and in 8th grade, she was no longer in the picture. She had moved away and went somewhere else. And anyway, one day, she sends me a message and says, hey Brittany, I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry I was so mean to you. I only bullied you because this one guy said you were a bitch. What? You only bullied me because of the comment of a random person you didn't even know? Where is the logic in that? Can someone explain to me? What logic were you thinking and using, girl? So anyway, she told me who the guy was, and I was just like, well, that guy freaking bullied me too for no reason. But I was like, okay, well, whatever. But anyway, so her and I were kind of texting back and forth for a while, and she was always telling me about how horrible and sad her home life was. I'm not gonna say what she told me because that's her, and why were her eyes all dilated? What is up with that face? What the hell? Anyway, sorry, got distracted. So, and I told her, well, if you need to get away, you can come chill with me. And I made a mistake saying that, because guess what happened next? She ran away from home, and she went to the police and told them that, she wants to live with me and my mom. But she only said that because she secretly had nowhere else to go, because nobody else wanted her. So not too long after that, she ended up moving in with us, and she kind of became my sister. My parents kind of adopted her in a way. Not really adopted, they just became her new legal guardians. That's basically what happened. So, but I just told everybody that she was my sister, because that's all they need to know. They don't need to know anything else. So that was what I just told her, that she was my sister. And anyway, so she only lived with us for about 2 years, and it was literal hell, you guys. You guys have no idea how bad it was. So right away, not too long after she had moved in with us, I began to pick up on things that were not okay. For example, I started to notice that she had not changed and that she was still her same mean old bratty self, basically. And she would sneak marijuana into the house, drugs, basically any kind of drug you can think of. Oh yeah, she snuck it into the house. And she was so mean to me. She would always antagonize me and get me in trouble. And the worst part is she was taking away so much attention from my mom off of me and onto her because of her constantly doing things that weren't okay. And to me, that was her way of raising hell and trying to tear our family apart. And I tried to tell my mom so many times of what she was up to, but then my mom never believed me, which honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't believe your own kid over some random bratty redheaded biatch. Oh yeah, her red hair is fake, by the way. So yeah, we might be snatching her weave. But as I was saying, so at one point, my parents decided to try and get her help. So she went to treatment in a different state for about 6 months. And I don't really know what went down while she was there. But all I do know is that it didn't help. She kind of just like played the whole staff there and convinced them to think that she was fine and didn't need help or whatever. Like she manipulated the situation basically. And so then she ended up coming home, and basically it was part two of her raising hell in our home again. But only this time my parents knew what to expect, so they caught on to her actions right away, as I said in the tape, her vindictive behavior, you know? And we ended up discovering that while she was in treatment, that she has a lot of mental illnesses. Like she's suffering from bipolar, schizophrenia, and a multiple personality disorder. So she'll just go from like being one of the sweetest people in the world to being, I'm gonna effing kill you. That was how her moods were. It was very scary to live with her. Like you didn't know what she was gonna do. And then she one time even threatened to kill us all. And that was the last straw, and that's when she got sent away for good. This little bitch right here literally threatened to kill all of us. But yeah, so we found all of that out after, and then my parents were just like, Annabelle, we can't help you. So you can't live in our house anymore. And after that, Annabelle went somewhere else. As far as I can remember, she went to like a group home somewhere upstate, and that was really it, I think. And then she kind of just like did her own thing. Like she became like a ward of the state, which means the state had ownership of her because, you know, she was still underage and that she couldn't live with us anymore. So that's the whole deal with Miss Annabelle here. And as of today, I don't talk to her. She has tried to contact me a couple of times saying like she wants to hang out. I just ignore her. Like, Annabelle, why would I want to hang out or do anything with you? You literally tried to tear my family apart. You literally ruined my parents' marriage. Like, I am dead serious. She literally tore apart my mom and my stepdad's marriage. Like, it was that bad. And then at the same time, it's also affecting me because that's my family. And yeah, my parents are always fighting because of her. So she's just literally in the epitome of hell, and that's all she's ever gonna just amount to be. So anyway, that is the tea on this Annabelle, but before we end this tape, there's one thing we need to do first. Anyway, you guys, I'm now playing as myself again, and we're gonna knock on Annabelle's door and just pay her a little visit. Knockity knockity! Yeah, hello, Miss Anna. I don't know where you're at, but I have something. Oh, there you are! It's time we give Miss Annabelle a taste of her own medicine. So, you guys, I happen to have the Extreme Violence mod, where I can do all kinds of things. But for the sake of the video, I'm not going to kill Anna because she's not worth it. I don't even think hell would accept her, honestly. I have a special little treat for Miss Anna. I think I'm gonna snatch her weave because she always rubs it and everybody says, oh, look at my haircut. My hair is so long. Oh, I'm so pretty. And then one time she got a haircut and they're like, she cut it too short. So you know what? We're just gonna take all her hair because she don't deserve no hair. Your weave's mine, bitch. Period.
It's what she deserves.
The next tape is about another girl by the name of Clarice. You were so mean to me for no reason. We only had one class together, and you just for some reason didn't like me. You would always glare at me, say rude comments, give me dirty looks, and even when I tried confronting you asking why you don't like me, you said, quote unquote, I have my reasons. And I said to her, well, I want to know what those reasons are. And she just ignored me after that, basically just like walked away. So not long after that, I ended up going to the guidance counselor and I told her about, you know, this girl, Clarice, and that she wasn't being very nice, and I even tried confronting her and she just ignored me. And I remember one day I just kind of stared back at her and gave her like a death glare, because long story, I was like told in 6th grade that you can, I guess, give people death stares or whatever. I don't know, something like that. So that's what I did to her, that's what I was told. So anyways, after telling the guidance counselor everything, she kind of introduced the sheet to me, and maybe you guys have even heard of it. Basically, it was a sheet. It was like really stupid, and they kind of like, I think, invented it because it's their way of just being too lazy to not to really care or do anything to stop, you know, bullying. And basically what the sheet represented was both students had to sign it, and if one of them were to break the contract, then basically that person suffers consequences. So yeah, probably like, what, a slap on the wrist? Like, don't do it again, stop. So yeah, something stupid like that. But anyway, so I don't know what went down when she went in there, but I even told the guidance counselor, like, you know, tell her whatever I did to her, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what I did to make her not like me, but tell her I'm sorry for whatever I did. And I never heard anything about Clarice after that, like from the guidance counselor, I mean. That contract didn't do anything. I mean, like, I don't know what she said to you, Clarice, but clearly you didn't care too much because you still continued to glare and give me dirty looks, only now you weren't saying anything to me. That was the only difference. And then in 8th grade, the following year, you actually stopped. You just quit being mean all of a sudden. And I never even really bothered to ask why you were so mean, but I remember one time you said, like, Britney, I'm actually trying to be nice to you. And I'm just like, wow, okay. You're being pretty sassy about it, but whatever. So she was like trying to be nice, but like in her own sassy way, basically. So nothing really happened with me and her after that. Because once we got to high school, I never really saw her again. I remember I saw her once in the hallway, but that was pretty much it. But I never did learn why you hated me so much. Not that I still dwell and wonder, because you're probably not shit now. Your ass is grass as of now to me. But anyway though, in the end, I did actually learn a possible reason as to why she might have targeted me. I learned that your home life wasn't perfect. I think that must have made you miserable with your own life, so you had to go and make someone else miserable just to make yourself feel better. But in the end, I truly actually do feel sorry for her. She must have just been so bored of her life that she just went to go and ruin someone else's just to make herself feel better. Oh yeah, look at her yawn. She knows I'm right, she just won't admit it. So there's really not much to say about this girl, like, in the story. Pretty much my tape says it all. Bottom line, she was mean to me for no reason, and then basically a year later, she's just suddenly all nice to me, but like in a very like sassy way. And she was, I want to say, still somewhat kind of mean, but not as bad. I mean, it wasn't to the point where it was actually bothering me anymore. But yeah, that was something that happened, and that did not make a whole lot of sense to me. And I actually do recall one time, I don't remember what happened because I was 13, but I had gotten like in trouble in class. But I just remember she looked back at me and was all like, haha. And this was like in 7th grade when she was like bullying me and crap, or just being straight up rude. Because I don't really want to say she was bullying me, she was just being rude, basically. Just being rude to me for no reason. That says more, basically, of what she was doing. And yeah, that is really all there is to say about Clarice, so yeah. But before we say goodbye to Miss Clarice, I think she deserves to be paid a visit by a special certain someone. And yes, I'm just using the same house for all of these stories because, like, it's just easier that way. One more thing I almost actually forgot to tell you guys. So before I continue, one time this Clarice here whipped me in the face with her hair and it hurt my eyes. So you know what we're gonna do to her hair? I think you guys already have an idea. Oh my god. This is what you get for whipping me in the face with your ugly ass hair. And that's on period. Oh yeah, cry about it, I don't care. Tape 3 is about another girl by the name of Phoebe. What did I ever do to you? I know we weren't exactly friends, but I thought we were. I mean, it all started once you cut your hair short and you just literally changed. Like into an... Nothing against emo or goths here, but once she became an emo, that's when she just like totally changed. You started acting more mean, and then you just suddenly hated me for no reason. And I tried to ask you why, but you would never tell me. And one time I texted her, and she just said, quote, "You're not even worth my time," end quote. That really hurt me. I just wanted to know what I did so I could try to fix it. Then I got really upset one day and I yelled, "Phoebe, I don't know what I ever did to you, but I'm sorry." And then I just broke out crying. I literally got in trouble for all because I wanted to know a simple question. And you just sat there and smiled, your goddamn devious smile, like you had just won a battle or something. So at that point, there was nothing I could do. It was obvious you just really hated me to the point where there was no trying to fix anything. And then during freshman year, I met a girl by the name of Janice. Her and I became really good friends, and she also apparently knew you. I told her one day about you and how you hated me for no reason. She offered to ask you why, and when she did, you replied to her with, quote, "Because she's annoying," end quote. That was the reason? Seriously, Phoebe? Girl, you were probably just annoyed with yourself, and that's on period. Phoebe, if I was annoying you in any way, you could have just told me that and I would have stopped whatever it was I was doing that was bothering you. Or in this case, annoying you. Your behavior brought me to tears, literally. I couldn't understand why people like you can say horrible things to another person and not care. I feel sorry for you, Phoebe. That you don't understand everybody has good in them, and that you can't recognize that. Okay, guys, so that is basically the tape about Phoebe. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you in story more about her. So I met Phoebe when I was in 7th grade, and her and I and this other girl, I don't really remember her name, but the three of us were actually friends and we all hung out. I don't care what Phoebe says. In my eyes, we were friends. And then, literally, just one day in 8th grade, she cut all her hair off and started dressing all emo and gothish. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, live your life. But I'm just saying that when she did this, that's when everything changed. And she just became more mean and full of hate. And I don't know how else to explain that, but that was just literally how I saw it. So her and I were in like a thing together where we were like teacher aides in like a special needs class or whatever. So I was just minding my own business and she kept staring at me one day and I asked her, "Can you stop staring at me, please?" And she says, "I'm not staring at you. I'm looking at the picture above you." Like, yeah, that's BS, sis. Like, there's no way. Like, come on. You can't lie to me, sweetie. So then I just lost it and I just yelled. Well, I don't want to say I yelled. It was more of like a mix of a cry and a yell, if you kind of understand that. I just yelled, "Phoebe, I don't know what I ever did to you, but I'm sorry." And she just like sat there acting all innocent and confused, like, "I don't know what he's talking about." Like, she didn't say that, but that's how she was acting. That's like the facial expression she was giving. And then this other guy in there, and then one of the teachers in there, he was like, "Brittany, what's your deal?" I'm like, she just literally hates me for no reason, and I don't know what I did to her. I've tried asking her, and she just literally won't tell me. He's like, "Alright, fine. Come over here, guys. We're gonna settle this right now." And I'm like, "Is this a joke?" He's like literally yelling, like, "Do I look like I'm kidding?" And I'm just like, oh my god. So, anyways, the three of us kind of step out of the room, and he says, "Brittany, I want you to say 3 nice things that you like about Phoebe." And so I said, "Okay, I like your boots, and your haircut, and your jacket." And then he says, "Okay, Phoebe, tell Brittany 3 things you like about her." And she said, "Your outfit's not bad. Your hairstyle's not bad, and something and something." Like, I don't really remember, but it was just, basically her saying, like, "Oh yeah, this isn't bad, that's not bad, like, isn't horrible." Like, yeah, stuff like that. And she was, like, just being really passive aggressive, and the guy teacher just didn't catch on to that, or maybe he knew something I didn't. I have no idea. But that happened. Not too long after that, I went and talked to the vice principal about it, and it was a female, so I thought she would be more understanding than a male would. Do you guys know what I mean by that? I just thought a female would be more understanding of something like this than a male would. I don't know. That was just how I felt. So I went and talked to the vice principal about it. And she said, "Would you like to have a one-on-one with Phoebe?" And I said, "Yes." So we go into the vice principal's like private room. It wasn't an office. It was like just like a private meeting room. And I start talking to Phoebe. And I remember saying to her, "Phoebe, I really just want to know why do you suddenly not like me anymore? Like, you and I used to be friends. Like, what changed? What did I do?" And this is what Phoebe replied with. Well, no offense, but like, I never really saw you as a friend. You were just like more of an acquaintance. So I'm sorry that you got the wrong idea, but like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh my god, you are putting on an act right now. Because you don't want the women in the room to know what's really going on. So Phoebe is just putting on an act at this point, and I was over it. This was the point when I reached rock bottom towards like, okay, you know what? I'm over this. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm over this crap. So basically, that whole meeting was a waste because I think the associate principal kind of went with her was like with her about it. And maybe it's because Paige was a girl. Maybe that was why. I don't know. I mean, women empowerment, right? Like, females are often not really believed in situations where they have, quote unquote, done something wrong or someone did something to them. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of the way our world is, which really sucks. So maybe that's why she kind of was more on Phoebe's side than mine. And you know what? That's fine. Like, I respect her for that. That's totally fine. If that was the case anyway, then I respect her for that. But I don't have any respect for Phoebe because she is just an effing bitch. And that is all there is to say about her. So after that, I just avoided her as much as I could. And when we were in that class together being teacher assistants, whatever. Sorry, I can't think of the term that I said earlier. Whatever, close enough, right? Tomato, tomato, I say. Anyway, as you guys can see, she is just bottom line a total vindictive bitch. And the one thing I am going to add, it's not really related to her, but I did tell Annabelle about it when her and I were siblings. And Annabelle actually offered to go punch Phoebe in the face for me, but I'm like, no, don't get yourself in trouble. She's honestly not worth it. And you know what? Phoebe ended up moving anyway. Not after freshman year, Phoebe actually moved somewhere else. That's pretty much the end of the story with Phoebe. And of course, as I have been doing in the past 2 tapes, I think Phoebe is going to have a visitor come over.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Phoebe, where you at, bitch? Oh, there you are. Phoebe, I have a little something for you. This is for being a freaking bitch. And that is on, period. Okay, guys, so before I start reading the next tape, I just want to put out a disclaimer that the next person I'm going to be talking about, I unfortunately learned that this person recently passed away in 2020. So, my wish for you guys as the viewers and audience, I don't want you to think anything negative about this person, regardless of what I'm going to tell you about him and what had happened between us. Because at the end of the day, everything that him and I went through, we didn't know any better. He didn't know any better, and neither did I. So please do not judge him or think of him in any negative way, because I just don't want anyone to think anything bad about him. He was a good person, and I wish I would have realized that before it was too late. So just a little trigger warning for you guys. The next tape's pretty sad. Tape 4 is about a guy named Evan. Let me start by telling you this. When I first arrived at West, which was the high school I went to, FYI guys, I wanted a fresh start. New me, new friends, new people. And then I met you. We became best friends, and honestly, it was probably the highlight of my year. And you were one of the only friends I've ever had that understood my disability, since we both pretty much suffered from similar disorders. Everything was great during our friendship in the very beginning. I thought it couldn't get any better. But then, things started to change. Everything was going great until you started asking me to buy you stuff and never paid me back. Then it got worse. Whenever we would go out to do stuff, I always had to pay, and then we started hanging out at my house. And ever since that occurred, you would always play on my Xbox or my computer, and you just practically would ignore me, rarely even acknowledging that I was there. And you would even call your friends from where you moved from while you were hanging out with me. Like, you could have done that at any time at your own home. And that just felt very disrespectful to me. Because if I was with a friend, I wouldn't be calling my friends from somewhere else. Like, I can call them on my own time. That's just how I perceive it. You always stir them, and they were always over the stupidest things, and I always had to say sorry for them, when they were never even my fault. Then finally, there was the fight. You blamed me for making Janice cry. Well, for starters, that wasn't me, it was her cousin, if you would have actually paid attention. Secondly, when I was going to class, you confronted me and blamed me for everything that happened that day. You argued with me non-stop, and I don't even remember what it was about because it was so stupid. But I think a lot of it was around the fact that Janice was having a bad day, and you were just kind of blaming me for it. And then all I remember from that whole ordeal was you saying you care about me, but that wasn't how I felt. I didn't think that you cared. To me, in my mind, as a 15-year-old at that time, if you really cared about me, you would have paid me back for things that I bought you, and you wouldn't have disrespected me when you would go on your phone and call your other friends while you and I were hanging out. To me, friends just don't do that to each other. And that, to me, is just disrespect. And so I said, no, you don't care about me. And I don't remember if I told why I thought he didn't really care, but I think I must have said something, because I know he got really angered by whatever I said. So I must have called him out on it. That's all I can think of. I don't really remember. It feels like it was so long ago. So again, all I remember was you saying that you care about me, when I already knew that you really didn't, and you were only using me. And then you shoved me twice. After I walked away, because I didn't know what to do, and I was in shock and practically traumatized, you yelled at me from behind, quote, "Yeah, walk away, you pussy," end quote. I walked away because I didn't know what else to do. And you took something from me. Trust. After that, I was not able to trust anybody the same ever again. And guys, I am going to say, I think I might have been being dramatic when I said that, because I did still trust people after that. I think when I wrote this, I was just really angry at Evan, so we're just gonna go with that. So after that, that was basically the end of our friendship. We were no longer best friends anymore. And we never spoke again after that, until the following Monday, when you apologized to me, but probably only because you had to. Even if you meant it, it's whatever, Evan. It was a long time ago, and I don't even hardly remember it anymore. Then after sophomore year, you moved away, and it all ended there. So now onto the story about this person. So I met Evan when I was a freshman in high school, and that was back in 2016. And basically, we had one class together the first semester, and that was just how we became, like, really good friends. And when I mentioned how we both had a disability, so I haven't really told you guys this. I am on the spectrum of autism, a very lower level though. So a lot of people don't even really know I have it because I just have a very low level of it. But basically it's like I just struggle with like learning. Like I learned a certain way, and it's basically along the lines of that, and then it also goes into like my emotional control in my hormones and crap, all stuff like that. That's all I want to say about that right now, because this isn't about me, it's about Evan. So that's what I meant. We both suffer from similar disorders, or disabilities, whatever you want to call it. So, and then like not too long, after us being friends for a while, we're gonna say about a month or two or whatever you want to call it. That was when he like was kind of asking me to buy him things, which, I thought was odd because he said he would pay me back, but you know how people like that are, who say they'll pay you back but they never do. So, but I was so naive when I was 15, I didn't know any better, so I was just like, oh yeah, he'll pay me back, okay. But no, he didn't, obviously, because that's what people like that do. But anyway, and then there was, like I said in the tape, he would always start arguments with me. I always had to be the one to say sorry, even though it was like never my fault. And I don't honestly actually even remember if I started any of them, but if you guys knew me in real life, I do not start fights or arguments with people unless it's for a valid reason. But I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like to be a part of drama, so that's why I wrote, I don't think I started any. So at one point, I decided that, I don't want to be friends with this guy anymore because I'm sick of the drama and I just don't want to be a part of this anymore. So I'm going to tell you guys what led up to him and I having our fight. Me being 15 and naive and not really knowing how to deal with certain situations because I suffer from a lot of social anxiety and I was somewhat socially awkward at that time. I just really didn't know how to talk to people. Not that I didn't know how to talk, it's just it was hard for me to talk to people, if that makes sense at all. I just always had a really hard time with that. And it's been like that ever since I was little too. But anyway, I was walking by him along with Janice and this one other girl we're gonna call Bertha, and you can laugh at that name, it's fine. I had my mom help me come up with these names for the people, but anyways, both Janice and Bertha are gonna be on here. Yeah, the tea is gonna be hot later on, guys. But anyways, so I was walking by Janice and Bertha, and I was like really good friends with them at this time. We were like a group of three, basically. So I walked by them and I said, "Hey," in like a really sweet tone, and then this is what I really regret doing. I walked by Evan and I just said, "Ew." And I said it in such a nasty way, too. I can't believe I did that. I don't know why I did that. I mean, I know that's not like the meanest thing you can do to somebody or say, obviously, but that was really rude. Just to have somebody walk by you and say, "Ew." Like, that is extremely rude. Like, that's crap you see on, like, reality TV and from those American Valley girls. Like, you guys get what I'm saying? So, I could not believe I did that, how I stooped that low and just did that to him. I guess I was just really angry with him. I guess I just really didn't know how to quit being friends with him, so I just thought, well, if I be mean to him, then he won't want to be friends anymore. I guess that must have been what I thought. I don't know, but I don't know why I did that, but that was so hurtful. So after I said that to him, I was walking away, and then he yelled behind me, "What the WTF did you say to me? Why don't you say it to my face?" I don't know why I did that, but that was so rude of me. That's one of my biggest regrets in life, doing that to him. So anyways, not long after that, during the same time this happened, I kind of like walked around the school and whatever. It was lunchtime, by the way. And I kind of come back to where Janice and Bertha were, and Bertha was no longer there, but Janice was there with some other people, and she was crying and on the phone. Meanwhile, me and Evan were still fighting, arguing in the background. And Janice, I remember, was crying and yelled at us, "Guys, stop fighting!" And then Evan made a face of like he felt really bad for that, and so did I. We were just immature 15-year-olds who didn't know what we were doing. I don't think we even really knew what we were arguing about, honestly. Later on, after I'm walking to my fourth period, which was right after lunch, and I was like a guidance counselor assistant aide, basically. But as I'm walking, this basically was the big climax as to what happened that day. He comes around the corner out of nowhere, and then he like literally runs up to me, and I'm just like, oh shit, what's about to go down? I'm like actually kind of scared. And I'm still thinking, like, did I really say ew to him? Like, why did I do that? Anyways, he runs up to me and he says, "Look at what you started." And then I remember I had said, "I didn't start that, okay? It's her cousin. And if you would have paid attention, you would have known that. That clearly you weren't listening when she was talking about it like I was." So, I don't remember what else we kind of said after that, but I remember it got to one point when he said, "Well, you know I care about you, right?" And then I said, "No, no, Evan, no, you don't. If you really cared about me, you wouldn't have did all that stuff to me. And what I already said to you guys in the tape that happened. And that was just how I felt. I truly didn't think he cared about me. Because again, to me, in my mind, a true friend would not have did all that stuff. So after saying that, and telling him like, "Well, you used me, and you did all this crap, and so that makes me think you don't really actually care about me." And I don't remember what else was said, but that's when he pushed me 2 times, and I just didn't know what to do. I was stunned. I've never been touched or assaulted physically like that before. I just was stunned. I didn't know what to do or say. So I just did what I've always been told to do, just walk away. I walked away from the situation, and he yelled behind me, "Yeah, walk away, you pussy." And I remember after that, a guy walked into the counselor's office. I don't think I even blinked once. I just stared in shock the whole time. And I just was so stunned by what just happened. Like, I think in a way I was almost kind of traumatized. And anyway, so the moment I walk into that guidance counselor office, so there was a girl who followed me in there, and she says, "Oh my gosh," she's like, "Are you okay? I saw what happened." And that was when I started crying my eyes out. And I don't think I was able to say anything. I was so upset. It was really hard, you guys. Me and Evan were best friends, and that was how it ended. It was really, really hard. It was very sad. And him and I never spoke again after that. So my counselor wanted to talk to me and ask, what happened. So after I had a moment to calm down and regain myself, I explained to her, what happened and how I told her what I did and how I wish I would have did it differently. And she said, "Well, we can go review the security footage and get proof that, he did do what you said, shoved me." So I have no idea if they said anything to him, but the following Monday, he did come up to me in the hallway and said, "Hey, Brittany, I'm sorry for what I did to you." And I just said, "It's okay." Because I was still in shock even 2 days later. And I was still very hurt and upset by what had happened. Because, I lost my best friend that day. I mean, that hurts. It doesn't matter how close you are to the person, it doesn't matter what they did to you. If you are really close with them and you lose that connection, it's hard. It's extremely sad. And I've said this a million times now. There is not a day that goes by that I don't regret what I said to him. I wish I could go back and just change that. I wish I could just go back and say it and did it a lot better and nicer and just say, "Evan, I don't really want to be friends anymore. I'm really sorry, but it's just not working out." I really wish I could have been more mature about it, but I was 15 and I didn't know any better. So you see, guys, I'm not perfect either. Nobody's perfect. By the time sophomore year came around, I seen Evan in the hallways, but I still wasn't talking to him. But he had actually ended up moving away anyway, so I never even saw him ever again. So, as you guys saw in the disclaimer before I started reading the tape and telling you the story, I recently found out that Evan passed away a year ago. I don't want to say what happened because it's very, very, very sad. And I'm gonna leave that for you guys to figure out, but I'm not going to expose what happened to him. I can't even bear to think about it. It's actually physically hurts right now to talk about it. It's that bad. And that's when I kind of began to realize and learn a lot of things about him. Yes, Evan and I have similar disabilities slash disorders, whatever you want to call it. But his autism was way, way, way worse than mine. Like, he had to actually be on medication for his. Like, I have never been on any medication for mine. I just kind of went to therapy for mine and counseling. So I was never really on medication. And I didn't have it as severe as he did. But Evan had a lot of weight that he had to carry around his whole life. And I did not know about that. I kind of sometimes wonder, maybe if I had known about it, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I wouldn't have reacted to things the way I did, that went on between us. But guys, at the end of the day, I've learned that he carried a lot throughout his life on his heart, and I never knew any of that until it was too late because I never bothered to ask. We don't know what someone else is going through and what their personal lives are like. All we can do is not judge people and think we are better than anyone else, because in the end, we're not. We're all equal, and that's on period. So, Evan, wherever you are now, I hope you're at peace, and I hope you can forgive me one day for what I did to you and for how things ended in our friendship. May you rest in peace, buddy. I won't ever forget you. The fifth tape is about a guy named Dallas. There's not really anything bad or horrible that you did to me, but there was one thing you did that I never understood. So I don't know if you remember this, but back when I was in middle school with you, so this AKA guys would have been when I was in 8th grade, so when I was 14. There's a reason why Dallas is number 5, and you'll find out later. So I don't know if you remember, but when we went to middle school together, I had a crush on you. At the time, I was still figuring out who I was, but all I knew was that I liked you. One day it was so intense, I just had to tell you. So I figured out where your locker was. This is really cringy, guys. I made sure it was the right one as I watched you open it several times. Oh, good God, I feel embarrassed for myself. You guys are probably laughing right now. I left a note in there saying, "Dear Dallas, I have a huge ass crush on you, Britney." Oh my God, you guys. I can't take myself serious right now. Oh my God. What was I thinking at 14 years old? My goodness, this is hilarious. And you guys are probably just laughing at me right now. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Laugh away. Anyways, continuing. I remember watching you read it. You looked over at me where I was standing for a second, then I looked away blushing. Like, oh my God, he looked at me. I remember asking you in class if you got my note, which was honestly kind of stupid of me, but then you acted as if there was no note. Jesus. I didn't understand. Also, I was always asking you if you ever wanted to hang out, and I constantly gave you my number, but you kept giving me these random fake 555 numbers. And I just didn't get why you did that. Then I was moved out of that class we were in and into another one, and I remember I was told that you really missed me being in there, which totally made me happy and made me think that maybe, just maybe, you liked me too. But then, I eventually left middle school and went on to high school, not seen you again for about 2 years, and I honestly kind of just forgot all about you. My crush on you faded, you could say. And then, I saw you, and all those feelings came rolling back. I once again tried to talk to you and asked for your number, but you said you were out of minutes and you would have more on Monday. Well, you never got back to me on that, so I told myself it was time to move on. Bottom line, Dallas, I'm hurt because you kept giving me fake numbers, never getting back to me on things, and just overall left me hurt and confused in the end. Period. Okay, guys, so on to the story now about Dallas. So the tape kind of essentially says it all, but I'm gonna try to think of anything else I could be missing. Yeah, I met him when I was in 8th grade, and this was around the same time when I was dealing with Phoebe and everything and all that bull crap. And eventually I just began to really like Dalton, and maybe it was just like in a friendly way. I have no idea, but I was so young, I did not understand how feelings worked. So maybe it was just a friend way. Maybe I didn't like him that way at all. I have no idea. I was just 14 years old and confused. I mean, who knows how I really felt about Dallas. So anyway, I was trying to hang out with him, to see where things would go, I guess, but he just kept giving me these random fake 5-5 numbers, like I said in the tape, and I was just like, girl, what the hell? And then, I eventually, oh god, this is when I was cringing at myself. I actually literally put a note in his locker that said, like, oh yeah, I have a huge ass crush on you. And this is from Britney, by the way. Like, oh my god, wait, I'm like 5 years old? Like, oh my goodness. Like, it's cringy but funny at the same time. And I know he got the note, and I know I put it in the right locker because I watched him read it. I literally watched him read it and then look back at me with like I want to say concerned look, if I remember correctly. And I guess I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I don't know where he's going. Hold up. He was trying to go out and talk to my mom, and I'm like, nope, that is not happening, no. I don't give a damn if she's your neighbor. You are not talking to her, period. Anyways, so later that day, I'm all like, I want to see what he has to say about the note, so I'm gonna go up and ask him, like, oh, hey, boo, what you think about the note? Tee. Blushes cutely. Was 14-year-old Britney for real? Like, oh my god, y'all. And yeah, he was like, you left a note in my locker? Like, what? He plays that dumb act, like that dumb F-boy act. You guys get what I'm saying? Not to be stereotypical here, but how sometimes straight guys will play that dumb act. They'll be like, what? Like, you guys know what I mean? That's how he was playing. But anyways, so I just kind of forgot about it after that, and I just kind of like quit liking him, to be honest. And then like I went off to high school anyway. And then I saw him again when I was a sophomore, because now he was a freshman, and we had one class together, like second semester. And I don't know why I liked him. He wasn't really that cute, and nor did I really care for his personality, so I don't know what that was. But anyways, so I had asked him, like, hey, can I get your number so we can, like, chill or something sometime? And he was like, yeah, but I'm out of minutes, so I'll give you my number on Monday. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, at least he didn't give me a fake number this time. So I'm like, well, that's an improvement. But I don't know if he, like, just forgot or something, because he never, like, got back to me. And I must have just forgot about it, too. But, I mean, whatever. He probably just honestly wasn't interested. And you know what? That's fine. But he could have at least told me that. I mean, then I would have accepted it and moved on properly. But no, I had to leave me on red and confused. AF. And then he actually ended up dropping out of school, I guess. I don't really know why. I guess he wanted to be homeschooled. I have no idea. Something like that, I guess, happened. Anyways, I kind of was thinking about it, and it's like, well, maybe he was playing me. Maybe he knew that I liked him, but he was just playing me because he had nothing better to do with his life. And this just kind of goes for all these types of people. People that are bored of their own lives have to go and make other people's lives miserable. Like, that is literally on period. So maybe Dallas was just literally bored of his own life that he had to go and mess with somebody, and oh, it just so happens that a certain someone liked him, and he decided, oh, I'm gonna play this person. I'm gonna like mess with them. So I think he played me, and honestly, I can't believe I didn't see it coming. Like, yeah, who would have thought that I was being played with? And as my mom said to me when I told her about this, she said, quote, I was too young and uneducated to understand. So yeah, my mom was calling me out, girl. She's like, Brittany, child, you was uneducated and too young to understand girls. You need to take a seat. That's what my mom was like, so she put me in my place for once, and usually it's the other way around, so I was like, in utter shock. Anyways, that's pretty much it with Dallas. But before I go, as always, there's something I need to do first. I need to have a little chat with Dallas here, who played me like a bitch. Oh my god, hi Dallas. Yeah, oh! Okay, I don't know what just happened, but look at what he did to me. Oh my god. Oh my god, ew. He ruined my face! Oh hell, Dallas, you are dead. D-E-A-D.
I'm so freaking pissed.
This is what you get for freaking ruining my makeup and my pretty face that I have to get plastic surgery for again. So this is what you get. Period. And that is on period. Let's see what damage we did to him. Oh, damn. That is on period. That is what he gets for literally touching me and ruining my makeup. Alright, you guys, so that is the end of the first episode to my 13 Reasons Why. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Now let me give you a little teaser for the next episode. If you guys think the tea was hot in this episode, oh honey, wait until you taste the next cup of tea. It is going to be full of sugar, and it's going to be so boiling hot that your mouth is literally going to burn off. Like, you don't even know. So the next episode is going to be coming out next Friday, December 17th, so mark your calendars. Also, for the record, my face is doing better now, as you can see. Other than that, I love you guys so much, and thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Brittany loves ya.